It's gonna rock, rock.
Hey guys, what's up? Massivebeatz here. Today with Ricky Flynn, and we just, instead of doing a tutorial, which to be honest, we quite don't even know where we're going with this, but we're working on a funky soul track with some electronic elements. It's going to be a two-part thing that we are working on bringing together. So today we're just fine tuning grooves and sort of basic ideas in Ableton Live. And the way we go about it, we recorded it in the studio to capture some of the live feeling, and then we took it back to the editing station here at the house to do a little bit of Ableton push tweaking, and or just with the mouse pad. It really didn't matter that much, the difference. Just watch this a little bit, and you'll see how, you know, some of the beats shape up, and we'll do some modulations and small changes till it slightly takes shape. But this track is still in the beginning stages, so this is just a little bit of a window on how you can work with Ableton. One of the ways to work with Ableton, because you know, Ableton is so flexible and versatile, and is already two-dimensional with arrange window versus session window. So many people work in very different ways. So this is how we work. Just to let you in on that, we actually figured out that if we and you won't see this here too much, but going on further, we come up that, you know, when Ricky's doing his thing on the trackpad, we have a big trackpad here, then I can still do things with Ableton push, so we can almost have 4 hands on the decks. And we got Machine as well, so if Machine would be running as a plugin, then, you know, you have 4 hands at the same time within one DAW. That's pretty cool. And when we take a smaller laptop into the studio to record, in this case with the Zoom H6, coming from the bass amp with a mic or line, or you can even record the room, whatever you like, then we just sync it with Dropbox, which works very well, and then so we can work from 2 machines also when we're not at the same location. So yeah, just watch this a little bit, maybe you can take some ideas from it.
Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Ricky Flynn. We're using Ableton Live. I will teach you through some of the edits that we're doing for this song. Let's go. Alright, so what's going on, guys? We have the EQ8 parametric EQ. I've selected band number 8, and I've turned that into a low pass filter. Right there, I'm automating with the filter frequency knob. As you can see, and this is on the pad, the Rhodes sample, which is a pad. So what that does is taking away the highs, and it's building more tension into the song. It's giving it more dynamics, and by doing that, your song's going to carry more nicely. It's going to make transitions a lot more intense for build-ups and breakdowns, or even just when a singer comes in, you want to leave some room for the highs or whatnot. So that was pretty easy. You just select the frequency knob and just automate it. You can do that with a MIDI control by MIDI mapping. If you don't know how to do that, just please send us an email. We will cover that in the next video if requested. Let's see. So yeah, just listen back. We'll see what happens. Command S, that means save. Very important. Do that every 5 minutes. So when you hold down Shift and click one of those little markers, it actually deletes the other ones as you move past them, which can be very handy sometimes. Give it a try. you can put this on basses. It sounds pretty cool. Alright, so now let's check out the percussion. Let's see. We're going to be focused on mixing, really. Trying to make the mix sound a little better. I like to start off, make things louder so I can hear them, and then bring them down. Other people prefer to go down than up. I choose to do both, depending on, you know, my mood, I guess. Okay, let's see what's up with this kick drum. Now, it sounds good. It's got a big low end, which can, the low end will muddy with the bass, you know, they'll clash. You'll have clashing frequencies. You don't want to have any clashing frequencies ever below, you know, 200, 250 hertz. You want them strictly like left with room. You want tons of room left for the bass, the sub, and the kick drum. You know, to achieve that, you need to do what I'm doing here. Which is, alright, so right here I am giving the bass tone, or the kick drum more tone, giving it a little more punch. I noticed it was too big of a kick drum and there was too much muddiness going on the low end, and I want to leave room for the bass. So if you turn the pitch envelope on, you get some thump. That's always good. Thump is much needed in a lot of music. By the way, this is a sampler. Ableton sampler is a very powerful tool. I use it in all my productions constantly. I have it switched on FM and AM. I have it on frequency modulator, which is FM. And this is going to put more grit to the sound. Give it more of an aggressive tone. And what you do, you want to find a sound you're happy with, and then once you're happy with it, actually decrease the volume of the, you know, the modulation section. And just experiment. Music's all about experimenting. Cool. I could work with that. Here, we got some difference when we have the decay all the way up. So if we bring the decay down, we're actually getting rid of a lot of that tail end, a lot of that low. And now we're left with a punchy kick drum. Cool, so I just brought the kick drum up in volume. I thought it needed a little more room. So, now let's take a look at the master channel. Keep in mind that when you are going to bounce down any mix down, make sure the master channel is left dry, meaning no effects are put on the master channel. The reason I have limiters on here right now is because I'm preventing any clipping from happening that will damage my speakers. Now, if you have headphones on or have nice reference monitors that you do not want damaged, including your ears, I would suggest putting a limiter on the master channel when doing a mixdown. This just is, you know, it doesn't make the music sound better, it just is for safety reasons for your speaker. Ableton's limiters are alright, but I'm actually going to use Waves L2. It's a little better of a limiter. Sounds a little nicer. It's a little, works a little more smoothly. And so I'm just putting a compressor also on the master channel. The Ableton Glue compressor. It's very good. You put it on groups. It's a good channel to put on groups. The Massivebeatz, excuse me. Because in the real mastering section, which I will cover later, what you do compress the master track. So I'm just lowering the output ceiling, which is, keep the output ceiling at 0, if you will. I usually want to keep it at negative 0.01. That'll just, you know, keep away from any clipping on the master channel. Cool. By the way, Ableton's parametric equalizer is really nice because it has that built-in spectrum analyzer. It really lets you be able to sculpt your sounds and know what you're doing, so don't be fooled by Ableton's plugins. They are very powerful. On the master channel, I have a long attack and long release and a little bit of ratio. This is because I'm just trying to ever so gently squish all the channels together. I'm not trying to squish any transients. It's just we're looking for a little bit of gel, and that will push everything together and in result make a tighter sound. So if you notice how I have the percussion and the tabla, if you look over in the percussion and tabla, I have them separated at different times because in the arrangement, to avoid any clash in the mix, you want to have, if things are clashing, you want to have them played at different times. This is ways to separate the mix and make it sound better. That effect right there is actually a reverb. I put a reverb on the master channel and then I high passed the reverb. Put that into an effect chain, put a dry effect chain, and put that at 0 decibels, and then I just slowly brought in the reverb channel up to negative 17 decibels. Probably I'm going to go even lower than that. This is just a rough mix. So, got to figure out how we're going to start this song off. Let's see. We're making a track, so this is going to be focused on arrangement. It's always good to get a nice loop going with a bunch of layers, and then take those layers and just put together an arrangement, kind of like a puzzle piece. Just experiment, don't hold back, follow your gut. Don't look for advice from other people, just put your arrangement out and go from there. So Command Shift is select, you click one end, hold Shift, click the other end, and that selects all of them, then press Delete to make them disappear. Okay, so I'm using a vocal sample right now. When you use a vocal sample, or any sample, for example, hey, that rhymed, but for any sample that you're going to use, it's okay. Some people get fooled that they shouldn't use samples. It's totally fine. When you do use samples, though, to make it totally fine, I would suggest tweaking them in your own way, whether it be slicing them, pitching them up or down, stretching them out. Ableton's got a great audio engine where it lets you manipulate audio in multiple ways, and by doing this it makes your sample a little more unique and you come up with even newer results that you didn't know you could come up with before. That's why music's left as a mystery. It's why it's left as a fun thing to do, because it's always something new. So this snare roll right here is good, but it's just a constant volume, and I'm gonna fix that by not using the velocity. We could play it softer to louder by using the velocity, but actually I'm gonna use a parametric EQ, and I'm gonna act as if it's a low pass filter. So by doing that, you take the 8th band of the parametric equalizer and turn that into a low pass and automate the frequency knob. And that's what I'm doing right here. where the mouse is. I'm clicking. That's the top of the frequency knob. And that is going to make the drum roll have more of a dramatic effect, or more, yeah, it'll be more dramatic. It'll give it more dynamics, and that's what, you know, people are looking for when they listen to a track. We're all looking for music that's very dynamic, that's ear-pleasing. In that, by doing that, as you can see, it's a good way to build, for like build-ups. You can reverse it it's good for breakdowns. So this is that bass sample was actually a sample from it's from my collection of bass samples. Just whatever. It could be your own, or it could be a sample pack, whatever you prefer. And on that one, I pitched up 1 octave, I believe. Yeah. And those vocals are sounding pretty cool. So that little marker that I'm messing with, that was the frequency. But now I'm actually sending the snare signal to delay. It's the delay, return, and send. I could cover that in a later video. So what's going to happen is at the end of the snare roll, it's going to have a little tail of echo. And it'll help the transition a little bit, make it more interesting. Command C is copy, Command V is paste. Okay, so this percussion section is actually panned to the left. Panning is a very important tool with a clear mixdown. You want to pan accordingly though. So I have the percussion channel panned to the left, and then I have the tabla, which a tabla is another form of percussion that's panned to the right. Not hard left or hard right, but a little bit to the left and a little bit to the right. Kick drum and bass, keep those in the middle. We're kind of building a sound spectrum that widens through the instruments. Hey guys, that's me. So we actually went into a recording studio and recorded these guitars with our own microphones and our own guitars, our own amps, and it wasn't really a full-out recording studio. You could do this stuff right from your bedroom. So if you have a microphone, put it right up to your amp. We didn't use fancy mics. We used regular dynamic microphones. Hooked them up right to the amp. Played guitar to a drum loop and did that for about an hour and got some good samples to work with, and that's actually how this song started. So it's always fun to start a song into a jam room because you get a lot of ideas that way. So Command D is duplicate. Every time I see a command, I'll just tell you what it is. So Command Z, undo. Cool. So I was just making those hi-hats a little more interesting. took that guitar, now I'm just taking pieces of it now as the song carries on. Remember, we're making an arrangement, so I like to work on arrangements, do things every 8 bars or so, or 16 bars is a better way to get a bigger picture of it. Okay, so I'm transposing that with the transpose knob. I'm manipulating this audio piece. I'm just making it as my own original piece of audio as possible. Just keep experimenting, keep pushing the boundaries, and your music will progress. Command E is a little slice, so you click, press Command E, and then it slices. Give it a try. So yeah, that's a jamming guitar part. So this track it's going in a good direction. Let's see. We have all the elements we need. We just need to put it in a more arrangement. We actually have a bunch more material that we need to somehow fit into this track. So the whole track is like, I would have to say it's probably about 20% done. We still got a lot of work to go. We got a lot of material to work with that you haven't heard yet. And this is just literally the tip of the iceberg of where this song is actually going to go. So, it's definitely going into a funky house direction, which is really good. We all like funky house. So for any questions or requests, just leave a comment, like, subscribe. We will get back to you for questions. Always love answering people's questions that are willing to learn. And yeah, we'll upload a new video. I'll give you more mix down tips for the next track, or the end of this track, and yeah, we're good.
So thanks for watching, and yeah, have a peek. Take care. Thanks. Massivebeatz and Ricky Flynn out.
Hey, what's up? Massivebeatz here, working with Ricky. Here's my man Ricky. Yeah. I'm gonna be doing a live session here with a Telecaster bass. So we just split the pickups on, so we're gonna get that single coil and that humbucking sound for that ultra fat one trick, now two trick pony. I'm gonna have the drummer come in a little bit. Until then, we're gonna pump up the volume. What do you think, Ricky?
It's gonna rock.
Yeah,
it's gonna rock.
It is. It is. All right. So here he is in his Ableton mobile station, yeah. And what he can do on this thing without a keyboard attached blows my mind. I don't know how he does it, but he tweaks it without controller better than me with, I don't know, a 50 button controller. So it's gonna be awesome again. All right.